Here's my PvP defense tier list for the post-air update. While I am by no means an amazing player, I have ended top 350 around there most seasons and have consistently made Diamond 1 every single season. Just take this tier list with a pinch of salt. Of course, a lot of this is based off of my opinion, and the game is so early that it's sort of hard to make a definitive tier list, just because most people have not built like more than 10, 11 units, I would say, so far. Just to get this right out of the way, anything in C tier you do not want to use for PvP defense. Just don't use it, trust me. And to that extent, anything in B tier and sort of A tier are just units you really sort of don't want to use, even though they're usable, just because of how insanely strong double S tier is. The units in double S tier are so insane that even decent heroes in A tier and B tier look really bad in comparison. It's really hard to show this in a tier list without having a bunch of blank tiers, but if I were just to edit this into triple S, I think this would actually work, just because of how far above characters like D Stella are relative to everyone else. That's just how powerful the top units in this game are versus just the okay units. Now at the bottom of B tier I put Rona. Please, before you dislike the video, just hear me out, okay? Rona has a massive advantage being a health scaling hero, alright? Health scaling is extremely strong in PvP because you get a 30% health buff just flat straight out in PvP, which is amazing for characters, any character that is, well, tanky or scales off of HP, which Rona does. Now, she is really bad because of her speed stat, but I think maybe a counter build or something else like that could work for her. But almost no one uses her, almost no one touches her just because of how bad her speed stat is. She is really close to C tier in my opinion, but I think that there might be a few builds that could make her viable. Now, Noah used to be top tier, in my opinion, maybe the first 2 weeks that the game was out, just because everyone was using her, everyone had her built, so you just stick her into PvP defense. However, as more people have built more heroes, she has really fallen off, simply because she's just an inferior Rin. Now, Air, I'm not sure if this placement's accurate. I'm not sure if she should be in C tier or if she should be in A tier. Really fast Airs can be scary on defense, but she does suffer from the fact that it is AI controlling her attacks, so she won't really attack the person you want her to attack. And if the person attacking knows what they're doing, she probably won't be a problem at all. Now at the bottom of A tier, we have probably the most controversial placement being Valentine. I think Valentine is not very good on PvP defense. She isn't trash, but she does get hard countered by both Stellas and Tio, and I do not understand why people run her on PvP defense. I do not understand. And now the next two heroes on A tier, being Sigma and Alice, have very similar problems. They both have great utility, but don't really do jack squat afterwards and will most definitely die after using their first turn. Sigma has an amazing S3, 10% CR push for your entire team. I mean, hey, that's nice, right? No debuffs, it won't proc anything, but Sigma will just die afterwards. She uses her S3, and that's it. She's basically a wasted fourth slot, in my opinion, unless your defense team is specifically tuned around having Sigma or Alice. Alice is pretty great at countering Leo, and if it wasn't for the existence of the Stellas, honestly, she would probably be an S, but she procs Stellas, and so she can't be that good. That's a trend you're going to be seeing, is that really anyone who puts debuffs on the enemy team, you just don't want to use, because that's how much of a threat Dark Stella and Stella Blanco are, or just primarily D Stella. Now Edith is in a unique position because I do think she is amazing most of the time, and I think if you use her on PvP offense actually, that she shines more because you can pick teams that don't have Cindy on it. Now I would just like to comment, there is a very big gap between A and S. In fact, I'm just going to edit this and put double S, because I think that this is a more accurate to reality, I should say. So at the bottom of double S, we have Stella Blanco, because she got the white hair. Or blonde hair. Shit, wait.
Huh?
Anyways, we have Stella Blanco right here. Honestly, she's basically a single target D Stella with, buff steal. She scales off speed. She's extremely fast, very fast base speed, does a ton of damage. Unfortunately, she does suffer a bit from the fact that it is a kind of a tank meta, bruiser meta, and she is not a bruiser at all, but she is just so overloaded. Her kit is so good. Now, Saren's like the opposite of Stella Blanco in the fact that she just kind of sits there, and that's what you want her to do. You want her to sit there, you want her to heal your team and CR push them and have the opponent die of lightning. Now for Rin, I really wanted to put Rin in triple S for defense. I think that she is the best pure damage dealer in the entire game for PvP. I mean, she gives herself attack, she gives herself crit chance buff from her S3. She can CR push herself 30% if she's S1ing a fire unit. Just very, very good overall. Now we got triple S. These guys are insane. You have seen them a million times on PvP defense. I mean, they are just the top of the top. First, we got Leo, and I'm gonna be honest, he is the most annoying unit in the game, by far. I mean, what were they thinking? You have team-wide invincibility, as well as resilience buff, so good luck stripping the invincibility. He has evasion and shields on his S2, which is also team-wide, so good luck killing him before lightning comes. The meta is essentially just to stall out until your enemy dies of lightning, because lightning damage accumulates so quickly. Next we got Tio, best healer in the game for PvP defense. I mean, you got her passive with the EE for the CR push, 15% team-wide, plus a heal. She hard counters basically anything that pushes back, so good luck using an S3 Valentine against her. I mean, she is just so annoying with her S3. She can cycle every single turn if you have it fully upgraded. She is an absolute menace to PvP defense. And I have actually lost to solo Tios before who just out heal, but I'm also bad, so. Now Cindy is really important the higher up you go, because people will start to use evasion teams. And Cindy is one of the only units, I'm pretty sure she is the only unit that gives accuracy buff. I may be wrong, but she is by far the best support unit in the game. Not healer, but support. Her buffs are super vital. You get attack buff and you get accuracy buff. So an evasion team is basically useless against you. Now Leo, Tio, and Cindy, their placement within triple S is honestly up to personal opinion. I think you can move any three of those around and it would still be accurate. However, these top two, I think very easily take their number 1 and number 2 spot. Starting off with Veronica, who is an absolute menace. She has an S3 nuke with their health scaling. She is very tanky and gives herself a massive S2 shield, or whoever has the lowest health. And it is a very large shield once you max out her passive. Of course, Demiurge Stella, best unit in the game by far. You can build her any way you want and she will still work. You just put her in the defense team, just use her.